Hello everybody, my name is Christian Charlo. Welcome to your market report. Today we're Wednesday, September 18. If I have one word to describe the situation of the market is surprise, surprise. That's what the Fed did with the FOMC announcement after they announced that they will keep the status quo with this FOMC announcement, which means that they do not consider to increase or stop the bond buying program, and they have not set up a date yet. So with this, we had a surge of investors rushing into gold stocks, silver stocks. So I'm going to show you the best picks that we have so far on the gold and silver stocks and type of stocks that you should avoid to open some positions on the gold and silver sector. So let's take a look at this. First of all, on gold, we have a clear bullish cycle after the stabilization phase that we had for a couple of days. So those of you actually benefited from that movement through bullish ETF like the one you see here on the screen, HGU or UGLD, with a 12.88% increase or a 16.49% increase. Definitely those two bullish ETF on gold, you have to take some profit on them. What about the gold sector? It's a sector that is clearly starting a bullish cycle, clearly reversing its downward trend. So there are a couple of stocks that you should not get into. For instance, Barrick Gold. Well, yes, it's a clear bullish cycle getting out of that triangle formation. But why should not get into it? Because the potential until it reaches 2220, we think there's not much potential here on Barrick Gold. And same thing also on Yamana Gold, which doesn't give much potential as compared to stocks like IAM Gold, where we think we have much higher potential, or on New York IAM Gold, or Eldorado Gold, where we think we have a much higher potential than Barrick Gold or Yamana Gold. But on most of those stocks, IAM Gold or Eldorado Gold, because they're taking more than 5%, 7.62% on Eldorado and 9.78% on IAM Gold, we think it's important to put a trailing stop on those stocks or to actually open half of the positions on those stocks because they're taking more than 5%, which means that if ever those bullish signals turn to be false breakouts, well then your loss potential is really high because they're taking more than 5%. On the silver sector, silver spot price, we're clearly also starting a bullish cycle. In terms of the stocks that you should avoid, you have Pan American Silver, which we think doesn't give much potential as compared to a stock like Silverwetton, where we think that, look, the stock is staying within this upward channel. The stock stabilized here and now it's going back up, so we think the stock has some potential to at least reach 29.38 for Silverwetton. So this is actually the type of stock that you should favor on the silver sector. For the mining sector, we actually have, this is Silverwetton in New York, but for the mining sector, we actually have a continuity of the bullish cycle. One stock that we think is actually good is Teck Resources. Actually, when you take a look at Teck Resources on a yearly basis, you see that the stock, this downward trend is around 31 bucks. So from 28 to $31, it's more than 10%. Actually, some might say, look, there's a resistance that's there, but we think that with the status quo of the FOMC announcement, with the economic indicators that are good, not only in the US, but also on China, and also with Europe that seems to have reached a bottom because the economic indicators are starting to be positive, we think this might fuel the upward momentum in the mining sector. And Teck Resources, we think, is one of the best mining stocks so far where you can actually benefit from that increase. So Teck on New York and also Teck on the TSX. So this is the list, folks. On gold, bullish ETF, HG or UGLD, if you got in today, you have to take some profit. In terms of the newest opportunities on the gold sector where we find we have much potential, those include IAM Gold and Eldorado Gold. So those stocks should be favored instead of Yamana or Barrick Gold. And on the silver sector, stocks you should favor is like one like Silverwetton, which we think have much potential. And in the mining sector, it's Teck Resources. So surprise, surprise, the Fed surprised all of us with the status quo, and this allowed the markets to actually make new highs and allow us to have nice entry point on the resources sector. So this is Christian Charlo from MarketGurus.tv that you can have access for free for 10 days just by clicking on the link below, and see you next week for your market report.